It's that time again. Let's have a chat. So today we are here again with my buddy Rob. Rob, how you doing?
Not too bad, man. How are yourself?
I'm doing great. Rob is from the Great Gatsby in Alberta, Canada. A great town of, what, 26 people?
26 people, including my family of 5.
So they have the internet connection of a town of 26 people. So if this starts breaking up a bit, that would be why, and we apologize for any technical difficulties during this chat. So, Rob, what we're talking about today is being a Canadian in the eyes of, well, the rest of the world. We are on the World Wide Web now, and we are subject to others' opinions on what it's like to be a Canadian. So, what are some of the things that you've heard, and how true does that reign?
Well, a lot of it that I've heard has been just how we live up here in the cold. I would say that that's the most that I've heard about. And the way
I don't think from where you're at that's much of a misnomer to say that you live in the cold.
Yeah, we get some pretty cold weather out here. It's we get down to minus 40 Celsius. Minus 50 Celsius sometimes, but there's a lot of wind chill with that too.
Oh, and that's actually how it's calculated where you're at, right?
Yeah, we don't go by what the temperature is. We go by what the actual wind chill is.
The feels like temperature.
Feels like the only thing that it doesn't affect is, you know, trucks or metal or anything like that, you know, conducts the actual temperature that it is, but as for anything with moisture, you feel that wind chill.
Right. I think they use the humidex in the United States for a lot of hot regions. So, what are some of the things that you've heard over your time communicating with other worldly people and that are just way off base about Canada?
Well, I'd have to say one of the first things is polar bears. I've never seen a polar bear in my life. Not one. No. Unless it's at the igloos, another one. I've built them as a kid when the snow is just right. But that's more or less, you know, something for kids to do or something for families to do with their kids, I would say. I would never stay in one.
Now, I've heard the dog sled one, like, so often. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, y'all got dog sleds up there? Yeah,
I've heard that one quite a few times. That one actually, my mother, she is 79 years old, and back in the day, she actually did take dog sleds to school. By the time she was 11 years old, she had her own dog sled team. So...
You know? But that's so rare for what normal life is for the average Canadian, right?
She lived in a very secluded part of Canada, over in northern Quebec, and there's only one way of getting in the summertime. That's plane or helicopter, or actually, sorry, by boat too. And in the wintertime, you're sled. And, you know, helicopter and airplane. And that's the only way there's no roads going to that town or anything like that.
So she is probably the stereotype and ought to be the spokesperson for this entire nation.
Absolutely. They never got radio till like 1950 or something like that, and all sorts of hardship.
Right, but we're talking about modern Canada and the things, the misconceptions. I mean, when I was growing up in Windsor, Ontario, it's actually south of Detroit, Michigan, and we'd have people from Michigan coming south across the Ambassador Bridge and taking off their winter jackets, saying, "Oh, it's not that cold here."
Yeah, no doubt. I'd say one thing that is kind of true, though, is lumberjacks. We have lots of them. You know,
well, actually, some of my good friends are fallers in the lumber world. So yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah, and another one would be wood burning stoves. Quite a few people, I would say, try to save on their bills by utilizing wood heat.
Well, I would do the same if I was allowed to in my property. I can, but you actually heat your entire home with your wood stove, right?
Yeah, that's one of the bonuses of being a wheeler is when I go cut trail on the property, I utilize the wood that I cut for my firewood. I don't have gas hooked up to my house or anything like that. I have an old century home, and it is heated by 3 wood stoves.
Right. So what is it? What is it, Rob, with the beaver and what is it with our coins? We have animals. Is it a joke that we're just putting on to the rest of the world? Yeah, we've got a beaver on the nickel, and we've got a moose on the quarter. We actually call the $1 coin the loonie because there's a loon on it. And then just to mess with people, we put a polar bear on the $2 coin, but called it a toonie.
Yeah. After they replaced the $2 bill, they went to that toonie, and they put a polar bear on
it. And people wonder why all the world's comedians come from Canada, or some of the best.
Oh yeah, Jim Carrey. He actually does a skit about Canada, and quite a few of them actually. Yeah.
I honestly think that we're just messing with people when we show this to the rest of the world. Now, full disclosure. I'm actually a U.S. citizen. I reside in Canada. My dad's American, but we've always lived in Canada. So yeah, but I grew up here. So this is my home. This is where I was raised. So yeah, along with that comes the culture of being here.
Well, yeah, and you're kind of lucky for that. Like I love the States. Like they got so many nice spots and diversity of spots. Like versus Canada, which is in the wintertime, like I suppose where you live, it's quite decent. But if somebody from say California came up to see you, they would find it quite cold, even though I would find it quite warm.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's all partial, I suppose.
Yeah, to where you live, right? What you're accustomed to. A 20-degree drop or height is going to affect you in some way, right?
Now, on that same thread, is there anything from the U.S.? Because we're in such close proximity, and we've all visited there, a ton of times. Is there anything from the U.S. that you just wish we had here? Because there's a few things that I would, but please share.
Well, I would say I've always wanted to try surfing. I suppose out in Vancouver and stuff, you could go out surfing and stuff like that. But I've always had this big, fright of orcas. I don't know if I'd want to try that.
Okay. All right.
Anything that can take out a great white, I'm not so sure of, especially when they hunt in packs.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the reason why most people aren't scared of them is because they're so smart and they don't mistake us for seals, their main source of food. I don't even know when the last orca attack was. I don't think
that just doesn't really happen, right? But it's still
think it ever happens. That's an interesting one. Sorry. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, surfing. We do have surfing here, but yeah, for you guys in the States or anywhere that has good surfing, we have Tofino, which is a place on Vancouver Island. It's a beach break, so you don't have that nice point break that a lot of surfers look for. But it is good surfing. But I think you have to have like a 9 mil minimum wetsuit. Like, it's so cold.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like I'm sure that down in the States, especially the southern parts, you know, where they get that warm water coming in and stuff like that, that would just be beautiful.
Oh, it's got to be fantastic. And of course, Hawaii is also part of the United States too, right? So, and Guam would be fantastic. One thing I have to say that I don't know why we don't have, and it just doesn't make sense, is cornbread.
Yeah, you can't even get that at a store here.
It's the greatest thing on earth.
I've never even tried it. I'd love to.
I wish I could just articulate how amazing it is. It's a loaf sent from angels, and it comes with nearly every meal that you get in the greatest parts of the United States.
Yeah. No, I'd love to try it. But like you said, you can't even get it in stores here.
Oh, one last question about Canadian things. What is Canadian bacon?
Canadian bacon is absolutely delicious. It's a thicker bacon. It's sometimes smoked, sometimes not. It comes in a big slab. You cut it yourself. You know, we can get the sliced bacon that everybody buys at the store, but if you want something good, you go to a butcher and you get something that's smoked and it's just heaven. It's beautiful meat.
Okay, well, I think we'll just end it at that. So today we were talking with Robert. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So if you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit that like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. I'll just cut all this part out. That is so funny about the orcas, man.
It's like
Brian's in the back just dying.
I was dying. I was like, orcas. It was incredible. I'm sorry, not to laugh, but like, that's pretty. Yeah, that was amazing.